The learning objectives of this chapter are to know there are anomalies possible with ECDIS and official ENCs, and methods of applying chart corrections. If a small island is not coded as land in the ENC dataset, the ECDIS sees it as a point object. When the chart is zoomed in, it will not change its size. If land is defined as a point object without a depth attribute or surrounding depth contour, a route laid across it will not be automatically noticed by ECDIS. An ECDIS will inform the operator if the ENC chart is over the compilation scale by putting vertical grey lines on the display. When ECDIS displays data from adjacent charts at different compilation scales, a blue line gives a visual indication of the join. The illustration shows what looks like a wider channel above the blue line dividing the chart cells. It is not wider, but displayed at a larger scale. If there is no chart available to view, the ECDIS shows a grey pattern, as illustrated. It could be the chart does not exist, or the vessel does not have a permit to view the next chart. If there is important information relating to the whole area of the chart, the information symbol will move to be always on screen for the operator to see and access the information. To comply with SOLAS carriage requirements, charts need to be updated with information from official sources. This can be achieved via satellite link, from disks delivered to the vessel, or using printed notices. When a raster chart needs a permanent correction, a hydrographic office takes the digital file of the chart, applies the correction, and resaves the chart in its corrected version for loading onto an ECDIS. A correction applied to the existing version of the chart displays in an orange colour, with the original object still visible. When a new version of the ENC dataset is released by a hydrographic office, the correction is permanently added, modifying the object. When chart cells are updated, it could be that old cells are automatically deleted from the system. If retained, however, it could be that the ECDIS displays the old version of the ENC chart file rather than the updated one. Also, it is recommended that any cancelled cells are removed from the chart lists on ECDIS, as they will not be updated but could be used without the operator being aware. A withdrawn chart message occurs when a chart supplier removes a chart cell from the list of available charts for a vessel. It has not necessarily been cancelled by the hydrographic office of manufacture. It is recommended that withdrawn charts are also removed from the chart list. Updates are installed from a disk containing both chart files and update files, or from a disk containing updates only. With the latter method, ENC datasets will have been loaded from a base disk before the update disk is used. It is essential to use an update disk of a later date than the base disk. It is required that updates are able to be applied manually from any source of information that is not machine-readable, such as paper notices or radio broadcasts. Manual updates are entered and stored in such a way that ECDIS will recognize them as part of the SENC and act on them in a similar fashion to other data contained in the ENC. The illustrations show both manual line deletion and manual line update. Click on the buttons to see how these other objects are corrected. The illustrations show manual buoy deletion and update. When a sounding value is inserted, ECDIS shows an orange box around the figure. When a sounding value is deleted, ECDIS shows an orange box around the figure with a cross, as illustrated. The illustrations show automatic chart updates. Illustration 1 shows a lateral mark symbol, identified as newly inserted by the orange circle surrounding it. Illustration 2 shows a modified lateral mark, identified by the orange square. More information is obtained on the buoys from an ECDIS interrogation report. A menu, often called the Update History, shows the updates for each cell, with the update number, date, and a list of the updated objects in the cell. Using the Update menu, the operator can double-click on an update entry, which then centers the chart on the object, confirming the entry. Temporary and preliminary notices are sometimes automatically loaded onto the ECDIS as an information layer and displayed similar to chart updates. If this is not possible, there has to be a manual update with any notes added as text. The chart illustration shows adjacent chart cells from two manufacturers, showing a noticeably different level of detail. This can happen because of Scarman levels or the amount of detail added to one ENC dataset compared to the other. When there is information to be passed, the ECDIS brings this to the operator's attention with a yellow highlight called an indication. The illustration shows a raster chart is loaded, but there is a better ENC available. When an ECDIS sounds its horn, this is classed as an alert. The alert is then one of two conditions, either an alarm or a warning. The audible signal is 3 beeps of the horn for an alarm and 2 for a warning. The audible alert is backed up with a visual coloured alert on the ECDIS screen. A third visual alert, called a caution, is possible, but this does not sound the horn. An alarm is a serious warning that needs instant operator response, as the vessel is in danger. A warning is not so serious. A caution is often information that is associated with the passage. Click the buttons to see descriptions of some common alarms. We have already seen that there can be ECDIS anomalies, that are things departing from normality. Here are some common anomalies.
Click on the buttons to see some of the common ENC anomalies. The chart compilation scale, or a poor Scarmin attribute, can make it difficult or impossible to read names of major navigational features, because of clutter or because they have been removed from the chart display altogether. The illustration shows a zoomed-in display where the characteristics of east and west lights on a bridge are overlaid on each other, making it impossible to read all the text. The ECDIS should be interrogated for information on the lights. The harbour area has yellow infill colour that is normally associated with land. The illustration shows a zoom display where ECDIS has left anchor symbols but removed the anchorage name from the display. There also appears to be a conflict between being able to anchor and anchoring forbidden. On interrogation, it is revealed that the instruction relates to different sizes or types of vessels. It is not obvious from the chart display which of the lights is the most prominent and best used for navigation. It is also difficult to read the light characteristics. ECDIS in base display shows an area suitable for anchoring, but no pipelines or other dangers visible. When more detail is requested, the pipeline appears. Different manufacturers' chart cells merge sometimes, causing place names to be truncated as they cross the join. Some charted names are difficult to read when text is overlaid. If adjacent cells are made from charts with different contour units, for example fathoms and meters, the conversion from fathoms results in values that are not whole numbers of meters, resulting in what looks like contour misalignment. The contours are not misaligned, but simply of different values.
Seasonal objects, such as summertime sailing buoys, are a special case on the display. The text shows how some ECDIS handle them. There should be the magenta D displayed, indicating date dependent. It is very important that port state control officers and other inspectors are given correct information relating to the vessel's ECDIS, and that they observe navigating officers obtaining the information in a confident manner. Inspections performed on vessels in any European port should follow the same format as directed by the Paris Memorandum of Understanding. The same applies in other countries where there are similar memorandums of understanding.
Let's summarize what you have learnt in this chapter. Land can be a point object in the ENC, and chart corrections are entered as updates either automatically or manually. There is a chart update record available on the ECDIS, that temporary and preliminary notices may not be entered automatically.
The difference between an alarm, warning and caution when the ECDIS alerts.
And finally, that there are ECDIS anomalies affecting all types of objects.